Good morning, good morning, good morning. This mic is all up in my face. Yeah, that's much better. Let's see, volume look like it's up. Looks like it's moving nicely. Everything looks nice and clean. Good morning, everybody. Today, it's like yesterday. I mean, we. I'm talking about Overshown first, and yesterday during the game we were all crushed, but it was like I didn't think too much of the Overshown injury because he could be shelved for the rest of the season. And then I was thinking, training camp next year. Then I said, maybe not training camp. Maybe just keep him out of training camp because I don't want to. We didn't want any more drama of him getting hurt in training camp. And let's start the season with Overshown next year. But when I heard it was all three, but then no nerve damage, but it's just going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of time. Good morning, Warren Johnson. I know it's going to take a lot of time. So, like somebody here said, week 10 of next week, and I've heard of next year. I've heard between week 9 and week 12 for next year, but they said no nerve damage. No nerve damage. So that means that when these ligaments are healed, that he should be back to being Overshown again. But that was, 9 months. That was the devastating blow. But then if you think about it right here, Karam, cool, 9 months. If he had got hurt week 3, then, that would have been at the beginning of next season. So the timetable just feels long because of when he got hurt. Because he got hurt so late in the season that it's going to bleed over into next season. That was the whole shock of it. 9 months, that for that type injury, that seems like kind of short, actually. But the fact that it happens at the end of this season, toward the end of this season, and it's going to bleed into next season, yeah. Oh, so somebody says week 6. I don't want to rush him. I'd rather him be here. Week 10 is fine with me, but week 9 and 10 is fine with me because then you could, if the team is, week 6 we don't know what the team is. Week 10 we know if we're a playoff team or not a playoff team, and we'll need to make that rush or not. And then him added on the defense will make the defense completely different at that point. So all the tape that people have used earlier in the season will be gone because you have added some kind of ridiculous X factor to a defense and changed everybody's jobs. Oh man, Chris, what's going on in Montana? Oh Lord, have mercy. All right, man, stay safe out there, Chris. Stay safe. Yeah, right. If we still, but I don't see Miss M Skills. I just don't see us sucking next year if we make the right moves. That's why I want keys to this organization, man. Let me do it. They get the right. We have 22 unrestricted free agents. We have 22 people that are playing for jobs right now with the Dallas Cowboys. And if they don't come through, then we know 22 people that we need to upgrade. And we can knock something off Dak's contract with him restructuring. Micah had already said, if you didn't hear Micah before the game, talking about him being the highest paid pass rusher in the league, he said that it depends. It depends on what we're trying to do. If we're trying to get somebody who you're trying to get to play with me and stuff like that, which was really mature and makes me want to make Micah the most highest paid pass rusher in the league. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of my philosophy. If you do the right thing, sometimes you get more than if you do the greedy thing. That's another person I got to talk about is Micah. How much do we love Micah right now? How much do we love Micah? Jeez. Morning Shango. Top 3 positions that you want addressed in the draft. I think wide receiver. I think we need to I think we need to retool. You see how Philadelphia retooled their secondary? I think we need to retool our secondary with corners. I think we need to get some nice young corners because our front seven's balling. And that's going to happen next year. Our front seven, especially with Micah and Overshown, when Overshown gets back, and Maris, the front seven is going to be nice. So I would add to the front part of that front seven on our defensive line through free agency. There's no way. Just like I was telling people, though, even those big monsters from Georgia that Philadelphia got in the draft, how long ago was that in the draft? It was a while, and it took them a while, especially the bigger one. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Carter kind of come across pretty normally, but it still takes a while for defensive tackles. If you don't, but Jalen Carter was a phenom. You got to make sure you get a phenom first. Jalen Carter didn't get Jalen Carter in the 3rd round or the 2nd round. So the defensive tackles, they just take a minute. The defensive linemen and offensive linemen, they just take a minute to develop because you're going against grown men when you've been fighting kids. It's a whole different thing. Experienced old men that know how to leverage and know all kind of stuff. So I just would rather have experienced stuff right there. But in the draft, them corners, wide receiver, and of course running back. Now, none of them early. I don't know why I moved that thing. They don't have to be the 1st round pick now, Cam. Don't have to be the 1st round pick. But I would address those. 1st round, I still would probably go best player available. If there is an offensive lineman, like a left tackle available, you still have to do that. You know what I'm saying? For your future. And then we'll have 3 future pieces. Would I keep Hooker? No. That's what I was telling somebody else, Warren Johnson. I was saying this yesterday, actually, someone. I was saying yesterday on the show because people are mad at Zim, but Zim has had to work with Quinn's players. He's been cooking with Quinn's ingredients. So next year, Zim is he's gonna be able to buy his own ingredients for his defense. And Zim is going to have safeties. So I doubt Hooker, great interception, thank you. But I doubt Hooker is there for him. J. Lou, yeah, it's time for J. Lou probably to go just to get some youth back in here. But I don't hate J. Lou. He didn't have a good game Monday night, but he has had good games like with Pittsburgh. Yeah, Overshown was, but the most disheartening thing from Jerry Jones is saying that we shouldn't have tried to block the kick, which is so dumbfounded to me because there's nothing in me. Like when I saw them about to punt the ball to us, I kind of figured we were going to overtime. The only way I saw us going down the field to score a field goal in those last few minutes to score a field goal to win the game, the only way I saw us doing that is through Rico because in those type situations, in a situation where Cooper Rush has to go back and throw the ball and throw us down the field, it is not going to happen. And to prove that I'm 100% right, Chase should have never scored that touchdown. That touchdown by Chase was so disrespectful, it's pitiful. And you saw him running, and he thought about it. But he said in his mind, oh, we got this. Because he knows that our offense wasn't going to go down the field and score another touchdown within a minute. And what did we do when we got the ball? Sail over CD's head, sail over somebody else's head. It was just like he can't do that. So if they had punted to us, we would have went to overtime and then lost there. So the absolute only way we win that football game, in my opinion, is if we block that kick. Yeah, ain't nobody keeping these safeties. It's just what trips me out is how they've always, I've always not liked Cooper Rush, and I've been railed in by the Cowboys fan base and everything because the Cowboys have loved Cooper Rush. I think it's time for Cooper Rush to go. Me and Cooper Rush fell out when he killed Rico. And it's not anything about Cooper Rush. It's one thing I don't like about Cooper Rush, and it is his arm strength. In Madden, it's like an 82. In real, I don't know what it is, but it should be like an 82. If you go to training camp and you see Dak's ball, who's not the most powerful arm by any stretch of imagination, but Dak's balls look so much faster and get to that point so much better than Cooper. Cooper's gets there, but it gets there like this. No, I do not think Overshown is done. No nerve damage, no cap. No, yeah, Overshown is fine. Just let him rest and heal. Mrs. Gill, that's exactly. Mrs. Gill says, Shango, if they could, I wish they could draft a run game coordinator that can overrule McCarthy's calls. Yes, but I was saying the same thing yesterday. He needs a real offensive coordinator with a run scheme. Our passing is fine. We don't need anybody to help us with the passing game or whatever. But we need somebody to help us with the running game and late game time management decisions. McCarthy, if he's doing it all by himself, he's thinking of other things, and then all of a sudden you got that fourth down, and you gotta figure out the things on a dot. Now, if we had someone separate of McCarthy that is foreseeing, okay, we could be in fourth and something's short here. If we're 4th and 3, we want to do this. He could be foreseeing, you know what I'm saying, what to do in that time management situation at the end of games, because every season, there are multiple games where Mike McCarthy fails miserably at time management. That's the only thing with Mike McCarthy that makes me furious is his time management. And something needs to be done to help him. Period. So, yeah, we need a run game coordinator. We need somebody that's going to be able to make those decisions quickly and efficiently, because I don't want to see no more of what we saw about Cooper Rush going down and acting like he's going to pass and falling down and not even trying to get a first down. Things like that was just ridiculous. What's up, Michael Spencer? Yeah, Parsons was held every play. Helicopter Cooper. Hopefully we'll get a burner this year, Irv. Hopefully we'll get a burner. And we could just let Turpin be a gadget guy. Let Turpin be what he is. Turpin is just a gadget guy and a kick returner, and he's an elite at that. So let him get busy doing that and quit trying to make him as a receiver. That's my breakfast. Some nice kombucha. Yes. They're ML Skills, they're bringing McCarthy back. Yep. I just can't think of a better option than McCarthy. Oh, really? The politics of how they use Rico? Well, no, hey, JL channel, it doesn't matter, because if Rico is a free agent and he's putting down numbers like he did today, he's going to get a check from somebody. So the Cowboys are hooking Rico up regardless. Whether Rico's going to be a Cowboy, and actually, best case scenario, Rico goes somewhere else on a big contract, because you know and I know we're gonna get a marquee back in here, and we're gonna feed that marquee back, and it's not going to be Rico Dowdle. So what Rico is doing this year is highly impressive, and he needs to get paid off of it. And we can't pay him. We can't pay him. Clean the coaching staff. Yeah, a lot of these wideouts. I think Cooks is done. I think Tolbert. I'm worried about Mingo. I really need to see some stuff out of Mingo these last, we got 4 games? These last 4 games, I really need to see something out of Mingo. It's like he has 2 feet. We could say, yeah, Warren Johnson, yeah, but like I said, I would rather get players of that caliber, like good players. I'd rather spend the money and get players of those calibers on, like, turn the Stephon Diggs money into a left guard or right guard, and turn the money that we would pay for T. Higgins into a defensive tackle, and then draft a nice wide receiver and draft, a nice couple of wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? We don't need a great wide receiver because we have a quarterback that's going to be able to get the ball to them. So as long as we have talented wide receivers that can get the ball, they should be able to work. But Tolbert didn't. No, Zach Martin's done, man. Yeah, just like Tony Pollard, somebody's going to pay Rico, and it's going to be a great day for Rico and his family. And trust the Cowboys did Rico a favor, because there's no way Rico would have got the same amount of publicity, like Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard is doing crazy stuff in Carolina. He's not getting any publicity hardly. And Rico is getting his name out there more just because he's on the Dallas Cowboys. And that's going to lead to more money. Man, Genty on offense would be crazy, Warren. Angry Cowboy fans, sorry, Rico. I don't think we can sign Rico. I think Rico ran himself out of the Cowboys roster last game. No, Rico. There's a lot of running backs, young Eldor. There's a lot. Genty is probably my favorite running back, and I would be super happy. You'll probably get another Ezekiel Elliott reaction from me if we get Genty. But there's a lot of running backs. There's a lot of running backs that I'll be super happy for. What's up, me mug? That's true too, Irv Bain. You got to look at who's throwing the Mingo and that ball. Yep, that's true, Irv. That's true. And the ones I remember one catch was way out, and he stretched out to get it, and he missed it. It was an important catch. I don't know what game it was, but you're right. You're 100% correct. Me, Muggs, no, we're not trading Micah Parsons. Have you not seen the heart on Micah Parsons lately? How many times have we begged for somebody to have that kind of passion for the Dallas Cowboys and that passion for winning? Micah Parsons has been. I'm almost about to fight somebody for Micah Parsons, man. For the things that he's done the last 3 weeks, they went off on him yesterday. Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp went off on him because he said that was one of the worst losses that he's been a part of, including the playoffs. You know what he meant. No matter what, because they said the playoffs, that's the end of the season. Well, what the heck was this, Stephen A? What the heck was this, Shannon? This was the end of the season. It was the end of all his hopes. He was trying so hard, and it really wasn't that, because every season ends and it's very emotional when it ends. The playoffs are the worst because you had a chance and it's worse, but it was the way this game folded. It was the touching of the ball off a block punt when you had it. That hurts. And the reason why I know it hurts badly is because Troy Aikman, after the game, Troy Aikman said, somebody brought up Leon Lett's name. And Troy Aikman said, when I saw it happen, that's the first thing I thought of, but I wouldn't dare say it. So that Leon Lett thing hurt Troy Aikman so bad that he couldn't even bring it up as a joke or anything like that during the game. That hurt him so bad. And guess what? That wasn't a playoff game, nor was it the end of the season. It was a Thanksgiving game in Miami versus Miami, AFC team. Game didn't matter at all. Sometimes some games, the way they fold, it hurts. And that's what Parsons was talking about. And they just drug him. So that further proves my point that when Micah says anything, they're going to take the opposite and destroy him just because you can make money off that. Yeah, you don't think Martin will retire? I think Martin will retire. Martin looked bad, man. When we're drafting the Boise State running back, young Elder, I don't know. I'll take it. Vegas has the Panthers. Look, man. Look. That looks fair. Look, hey, B. Mackerel. We have Cooper Rush. They have Bryce Young. Bryce Young is playing amazingly. Bryce Young's balls are so much better than Cooper Rush. It's ridiculous. So they played Philadelphia. They really beat Philadelphia if he caught the pass. They played Kansas City to the bone. So, yeah, I can say it. Man, Julio, I'm with that Cam Scatterboo, man. I'm with that Cam Scatterboo. Can we get a compensatory pick next year if Rico signs a nice contract? Oh, yeah. That might be what we're doing. We might be feeding Rico so he can get those yards so our pick keeps going up. Shoot, Bland, too. Bland can go, and Bland can get us some money. Bland needs to go now because we playing a different defense, and who knows if Bland's gonna get all those turnovers. Bland was really just turnovers, man. No. We can't. Sam Darnold has priced himself out of any backup situation in MS skills. And no, I don't want. I want competition for Dak, but I don't want old competition for Dak. I mean, what does that prove? I want a young quarterback behind Dak. I told you my formula is I want that Arch Manning. As soon as he gets out, it's probably going to be right at the end of Dak Prescott's contract. So he at least has 1 or maybe 2 years. If he comes out early, maybe 2 years, behind Dak. And then after this contract, we can Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Dak, and let him go. Let his skills erode in Cleveland or somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll have my dream quarterback, Roger Staubach Jr. Arch Manning. He's kind of Roger Staubach Jr. though. Good morning, Action Powell. That's how you don't have a gap at quarterback. I don't want another gap at quarterback. Those gaps at quarterback, the organization has no idea what to do, and we are floundering for years. Hampton, that's another one. Woody Mack, Hampton out of UNC is a monster. The other Oklahoma State. What's his name? Ollie Gordon for Oklahoma State. He didn't have a great year because his team wasn't great, but he's still a monster. Yeah, we have Isaiah Turner. Look at what Philadelphia did. They did their work in the draft, and they went and got two Cooper DeJean and what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. But they went and got two nasty corners, and those corners are playing pretty decent right now. You know, they're playing as good as not as good as they're playing better than Diggs and Bland. So yeah, they can be replaced, especially if you saw Diggs. Come on, man. Diggs looked like he's toast, man. He looked like he was hurt. Either it looked like Diggs was hurt or Chase is just that dang up good, which is a possibility. But it was not a competition between those two. And you got to remember Isaiah term. Bland is mainly turnovers. If he's not generating turnovers, what really is he doing? Yeah, Woody Mack. Who's up? Swazi. We got to figure out. That's what Swazi. That's why we got to work on it now, Swazi. That's why we got to figure out a plan now. We got 2 years to figure out how we can get assets and move ourselves up to that number one picker somehow. You know what I'm saying? So we got to have a plan, Swazi. You got 2 years, at least. Bring in Arch Manning. And the main reason why I'll tell you this, the main reason why I would want Arch Manning to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, because I believe Quinyon Mitchell, thank you, Titan. I believe Arch Manning is the only quarterback that could actually have success in Dallas, simply because the Mannings are way too powerful. They're not going to let Arch Manning. They're not going to roll Arch Manning out there with just the CeeDee Lamb and nobody else. They're not going to do that to Arch Manning. You know what? You know and I know. They're not going to do that to Arch Manning. The Mannings are going to make sure Arch, the baby, they're going to make sure Arch has everything he needs. They're going to make sure he has that line. They're going to make sure he has those targets. And they're going to make sure he has a running back. They're going to be in Jerry's ear. Now, you got to do. The Mannings are too powerful. They pulled the craziest thing that the draft have ever seen with Eli Manning, and just went off smoothly. Mannings are too powerful. Swazi said Jamar Chase is that good. Yeah, that's totally believable. Exactly, real Darrell. You got to get. That's what I told somebody, because they were saying get T. Higgins and Diggs in free agency, and I was like, why don't you get players complementary of those players that are very good players, but get them on the defensive line and offensive line, because that's where they go and they try to find their little their deals. They go get bench players and players that were discarded and try to redo. They doing all that crazy stuff, and it's not going to work. I mean, it never worked. Yeah, shoot, Diggs might be our way to Arch. Who knows? He hasn't been the same since the ACL. Yeah. I don't think he didn't look. That's what I'm saying. He didn't look fully recovered. He's never been a shutdown corner. No. That's what I'm saying, Woody Mack, too, about Diggs and Bland. They're not cornerbacks for Zimmer. They're not cornerbacks for Zimmer. You know what I'm saying? They're cornerbacks that go for turnovers. That's Quinn-type corners. And that's what they did. But if they were not getting turnovers, you have to ask yourself, what was Bland and Diggs actually doing? What happened, Sean? Good morning. You had an epiphany this morning. You can't take it about Cowboy disappointments. Oh man. You gotta be able to take it, Sean. Good stuff will happen one day, I hope. Oh, Terry Glenn's son. I met Terry Glenn's son, Michael Barrett, a long time ago. He was a little kid at that time when we were at training camp. His whole family was out there. Terry Glenn's family was out there. Diggs as a number 2, Isaiah Turner. That could be interesting because if you throw it over, if you throw it over to his side late, then Diggs can ball hawk it down, and that's good. That'll be all. That Diggs is an elite ball hawk, elite ball hawk. So if you get a shutdown, a guy that you can't throw over him, you can't throw on his side with Diggs, then you got something. So, but right now you have 2 versions of Diggs on each side with Bland and Diggs. We need a Tony Dorsett, yeah. You know, that was the guy who made me a Cowboys fan pretty much, him and Staubach. And Hollywood Henderson. Those 3 are on my is it Tony? Those 3 are on my Mount Rushmore. Yeah, I say Aubrey and Turpin are locks. He's an animal now. I know. I can't wait to see him. But you know, Glenn was a. It's so funny. Glenn was a tough dude. Glenn was not a pushover type dude, and Parcells used to pick with him and call him she. But he was Parcells' guy though. Glenn loves the Parcells. It's crazy. I wouldn't trade Aubrey. Aubrey's had a little rough patch. You had that. That's a good analogy, Rick Charlton. You had that with Larry Brown. He got paid because of prime. Exactly. When you got freaked out because you couldn't throw the prime and just threw it on the other side of Larry Brown, man, he was able to get it because he was looking for it. Man, Action Powell, would people please stop talking about another Michigan State defensive tackle? I'm not Michigan State. I'm so scared. I know he's good, but I'm so scared. But Taco, I mean, that's when I got so mad at I got so mad at the local Cowboys media because the local Cowboys media is funneled by Jerry Jones. He pretty much owns all of that, or whatever. So they let the local area, they flood them with misinformation. And when Taco was coming out and he got drafted, we all looked at Taco's tape and we was like, what is this? This dude can't play. And I made a video. I was like, this is hard. What's going on? And a dude just ripped me. And you could tell that he was regurgitating information that came from somebody of a credible source inside of Cowboys news media or whatever. He said, this proves that you don't know anything about football. Blah, 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 blah. You're completely exposed. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, he just went in on me because I didn't like Taco. And I was like, there's no way a person could have been supporting this guy that much unless he was brainwashed. Robin Newhouse was my boy J Recruiter. Yeah. Okay, don't be there to be. They changed their scheme in Michigan. Yeah, the thing I believe in Mike McCarthy and Dak a tad bit more than Garrett and Romo, and it's more Jason Garrett. It's more Mike McCarthy over Jason Garrett, just because Mike McCarthy has done it and Jason Garrett hasn't. They both have their number one wide receiver that Tony had. But I hope they can do something, man. We have no idea what next year looks like. So I can't give it like, yeah, we ain't gonna win nothing because we are 22 unrestricted free agents, a ton of draft picks, money, a lot of money to spend in free agency. Our team is going to be vastly different next year. But guess what? It gives Shango content all year long. So I get to actually, this is one season that I can actually stay online all through until the draft because, well, I'll probably take a little thing right before the draft or after the draft is when a little break is. But I can go all the way to the draft with no stopping because we're going to be constantly adding players, constantly looking for stuff and things of that sort. Jay Recruiter, what are you saying? You think Kellen Moore would be a good choice for head coach? Wait a minute, Jay Recruiter. The Philadelphia Eagles can't pass. And the only reason why they're running is because they got the best running back in the league and the best running quarterback in the league. And they run. Kellen Moore is doing nothing. Actually, Kellen Moore is bringing the offense down because they have absolutely no passing game to go with that running game. Because he has no clue. It's snug. We could all see Taco was mid from the tape. Yeah. They were trying to sell tacos. I didn't know Mozzie was going to be mid, but when I saw Mozzie's size, I thought he was going to be bigger as far as a little bit taller, but he's not a massive man. Like Chris Jones in Kansas City. Chris Jones is a massive human being. And when on downs that are like 3rd and 4 or whatever, Chris Jones beats you up. That's what I was hoping we was gonna get with a Mozzie, but he's much shorter. Jay Recruiter, Hurts has done it before. You could try to make Hurts the problem. Hurts has done it before. And every single year, Hurts has had a whole lot more passing yards than he has this year. So Hurts, something's not going on with the offensive coordinator and Hurts. The offensive coordinator is not knowing how to use Hurts. But just to blame Hurts of an offensive, he had an elite quarterback last year. Jay Recruiter, he had an elite quarterback last year. And compare Justin Herbert last year to the Justin Herbert right now under Harbaugh. Compare them. They're not even comparable. Last year, Herbert didn't even know what to do with the ball when he was out there through interceptions and stuff. This year, his balls are perfect. We've never seen Herbert play as well as he's playing right now. And Kellen had him last year. No Kellen Moore. Pollard has 937 rushing. Pollard and Rico would have been a nice one too, wouldn't it? Mosh. We need a big boy from Kentucky. Kellen made a career off of one trick play. Well, he made a career off of being a Dallas Cowboys coach. And that's the same thing I was just saying about Rico, which is great for Rico and it was great for Kellen Moore because both of them got paid from having a little bit of success in Dallas. And that's all it takes. Have a little bit of success in Dallas and you can get paid. You think we go for a running back with our first pick? No, not with our first pick. Unless it's Genty. And that will cause half of the fan base to be upset, but I would be okay with it. Because Genty is a running back. What the difference between Genty and Rico is Genty would cause the defense to freak out. You know what I'm saying? They would have to make sure they get Genty. They would be in because he could completely take over the game. And if the defense is focused on Genty, play action is wide open. It is wide open. So you can either die by the run or die by the play action. It'd be very rarely that we would be in shotgun having to just throw like we've been doing the last couple of years. Everything would be off the play action, and all the drives would be nice and simple going down the field. You should, in my opinion, especially with our roster, we shouldn't be in those situations where we have to spread out and just throw the ball until we're in the last 2 minutes of the game in the quarters. I mean, in the halves. That's it. No, Genty's height is an issue because he's a bowling ball. He's like he's so thick, man. He's so thick. All right, guys. I have my Pitsky. She has to have surgery this morning, so I have to go get her ready, and then I have to. My wife is in New York doing superstar thing. She's in New York because she's going to be on the Today Show, I think, and some other shows for being nominated Best Actress in the Drama Series for the Critics' Choice Awards. So great job, wifey. And I'm here. Got your back. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, my fast, it's got me feeling good. All right, guys.